stayed out of trouble. You ain't getting no trouble.
Nope. That's
What's
exactly how
happening?
it did not go down.
What's happening, YouTube? Yes, we are in the building here to wish you guys a happy 4th of July. However you celebrated, whatever you was able to celebrate, we are here to bring you a non-shy show because they are taking a break. I've got the living legend Larry with his Fruity Pebbles shirt on. I got Moochella with the new YouTube hair. Larry, how you doing tonight?
I'm hanging in there, man. Just doing my thing. Had to go run off to the store right quick because I was trying to do some more videos for everybody on my channel, and my hard drives were full. So
Damn.
had to go buy a new hard drive to back my stuff up.
What, man? You ain't got a terabyte joint at the house, solid state?
Oh man, I go through about 8 terabytes a month.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. On average, I go through somewhere between like 6 and 8 terabytes a month. So I usually buy at least a 6 or 8 terabyte drive every month. I used to do it on I used to have like a RAID backup system, but it just got to be so expensive trying to manage it that I just decided to go old school and buy regular hard drives for them. So,
damn. Well, Moochella, how you doing? That just ruined my night. I can't believe this man going through solid state hard drives like that. Good God.
Not solid states, just regular spinners. The solid states are too expensive for backup. I use my solid states for my editing drives.
Okay. How you doing, Moochie?
I'm good. I'm doing good.
Well, so far in the building, we got my brother Mike, Willie, and we've got 12 others watching. If you guys would please give us a thumbs up, show us some support, and please share my videos. And be sure when you click on them that you turn on notifications so when I drop these videos, you guys get them. What are we going to be covering tonight? Moochie wants us to go through the trailer that Larry would never watch, Fear the Streets by Netflix.
Why?
Because Larry don't do horror. Only I do horror. You know, that's my thing. We've got a little bit of drama in Hollywood. We've got an ex-Marvel person bashing Scarlett Johansson and the current Black Widow movie. Sound like a whole lot of hating to me. It's just a matter of us figuring out what is the root of his hating ass.
Now we have to ask though, can we really consider him Marvel?
It was a Marvel
production character, but I'm not sure if that was a Marvel movie.
Yeah, it was Marvel.
That was the first one that popped everything off.
It just wasn't Kevin Feige MCU. That's all.
Okay.
It was a Marvel movie, but it's not Kevin Feige PGA MCU. So we can call it that.
All right.
We've got a little drama with Wendy Williams running her mouth, and occasionally she sticks her big toe in her mouth and it pops out her ear. She came for the neck of a YouTube / actress sensation that everybody loves, Tabitha Brown. Y'all seen her on The Shy. We'll get into that too. I've also got 7 undervalued stocks that you guys need to get your hands on over the next 6 months. This is kind of my mid-year best stock picks. And then we've got some news. Correctional officer decided to have a little bit of sex with a prisoner in front of 11 people and got her ass popped. So we've got, and we also got the He-Man trailer too. And it's going to be narrated by the showrunner himself, Kevin Smith. Let me shout out the people in the building. Mike Willie, my brother's in the building. He joined us last Friday.
Willie.
Queen of Steel, 1028. What's up? Cynthia Charles in the building. Tia Bryant, Carborough, D Weave is all showing us support. Everybody's in the building. The only people we missing is my boy Buzz, Tressa C, but I know they'll be in here in a minute.
D Weave sounds like a set, man. It sounds like, where are you from? D Weave.
Nah, man. It sounds like the kind of hair extension Kim Kardashian put in her head, if you ask me. D Weave. That's what it sounds like.
Man.
Ladies and gentlemen, because of you guys have got my homegirl, Lydia Laws, right here where I live at, Elon, North Carolina. Y'all have gotten her to the finals of the Muscle&Fitness contest. All you had to do was vote. And because of you guys and others that voted for her, she's in the finals. Now it's between her and 4 other young ladies. Please go vote for her again. Voting ends on the 8th of this month, but y'all taking her to a new level. and I want to see her get that 20 grand vote for her. And last but not least, this Friday, our special guest will be the lady holding the pole who's in the Shy. Her name is Marquita. She hit me on IG and said she will be here to break down what's going on, what she's up to, and what
wait. She's going to be here before we even get to see the episode.
What we want. That's exactly what we want. That's
okay.
She's not going to tell us a lot of stuff.
Yeah, she ain't going to tell us everything, but she can break down and give us some prediction, what she had to go through to get the role, what she's going to be in next. And we will promo her IG channel. If you ain't been there, go check her out. I mean, like I said in my video, some thick meat right there. Don't need no salt on that ham. None. So get ready, ladies and gentlemen. She'll be here Friday. First, the very
Lamont
first.
Trying to get cut, man. He's up there talking crazy, trying to get cut.
No, man. No, ain't none of that. The very first story
back
we're
there right
do.
now with that blade, with that little blade, talking about keep talking. Keep talking.
No. She fully understands this is for entertainment. Ain't nothing
I know,
on.
Man.
Ain't nothing going on around here. Ladies and gentlemen, first thing we're going to cover today is they did drop a clip of the Black Widow movie, which comes out Friday. They call it the prison break scene. Let's take a look at that trailer first. Then we'll break down what's going on with a man trying to attack the movie, trying to attack Marvel, and trying to attack Scarlett Johansson all at the same damn time. Here we go with the trailer.
You made a scene, didn't you?
What now?
We're getting you out of here. Go to the upper level. Move your ass, super soldier.
I will keep in mind because that's going to come in handy with the watch. So now, ladies and gentlemen, let me give you guys the beef. I like to. We're going to check out the movie anyway, but we wanted to give you guys a little bit of what's going on. This man right here, who was in the very first Blade movie, he was actually the villain in the Blade movie, and he's in True Detectives. Actor Stephen Dorff says he's embarrassed for Scarlett Johansson for appearing in garbage Black Widow. He goes on further to say this. Dorff is not the only person, wrong clip. He goes on further to say, it looks like garbage to me. He continued, it looks like a bad video game. I'm embarrassed for those people. I'm embarrassed for Scarlett. I'm sure she got paid $5-7 million, but I'm embarrassed for her. I don't want to be in those movies. I really don't. I find that kid director that's going to be the next Kubrick, and I'll act for him instead. Damn, so he went after Kevin Feige on top of that. And they even had they even highlighted a little more when they talked about some of the other people who's been bashing the superhero genre, yada, yada, yada. All right, let me give you guys my take, then I'll come to you, Mooch. First of all, look at this dude. This is what he dressed up as, what was this, maybe 20 years ago playing Blade. And now you got the audacity to be bashing the MCU when it's up and rolling good. This sounds like either some sour grapes or just somebody took a large shot of haterade to me. Either you mad Scarlett Johansson didn't give up the draws to your ass, or Kevin Feige didn't sign you to play in a Marvel movie. It's one thing to say that you don't like a movie and to talk about the director and the showrunners and all that. It is another thing to grossly attack them in the way you just did. Sound like a hater to me, but Muchella, I could be wrong. Speak on it. What do you think?
I think he probably tried out for the movie and they told him no.
Moochie, we can barely hear you.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me a little bit better?
A little bit now.
How about now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. He played Deacon Frost, right? In Blade.
Yep. That's
And
him right there.
I think he probably tried out to he probably did wanted to be in the next movie, and they probably told him, we're not looking for that look or something like that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It sounds like a bitter person. You're having a lot of bitter people on tonight. We'll get when we get to the next one. I'll let you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Larry, jump on in there. Sour grapes. Who he really mad at? He mad at Scarlett because she didn't give up them red draws.
I think that there's just a lot of actors in Hollywood that just have an issue with the superhero movies, because I hear this quite a bit when I listen to some actors on these talk shows sometime, or when they show up on one of these actors, forums or something, and a lot of them poo-poo superhero movies. And I think for some people, I think they constantly are thinking about superhero movies in the same vein of like the DC Superman goody two-shoe type superhero movies, and they're not thinking of Marvel, where the characters are often really more gritty, more flawed, more real people. Even though they're they're more realistic in the sense that they're naturally flawed humans or superhumans or whatever. And I think some people just like, my brother is just not really into superhero movies. And I'm like, dude, these are good stories. To me, I'm not going to discount a good story because it's a superhero movie. I think that's the thing that Marvel has done, with the MCU, is they have taken, the best, I think for the most part, the best stories out of these comic books, and they've made some really great movies. And some people are just upset because they think of superhero movies as kids movies, and they're like, I want to do something. Actors are always trying to be highfalutin. I want to do this big drama. I want to do this. I want to do some action or some sort of period piece or some big, deep emotional drama or whatever. And the fact of the matter is, you get all of that in Marvel. You get all kinds of stuff. You get action, you get adventure, you get romance, you get real drama. You get everything. And so for a lot of people, they're like, I'm getting all of that right here in the MCU. Why do I need to look elsewhere? And there's a lot of actors who have embraced that, and you can see they're making a crap ton of money off of it and enjoying their life and their fame and here's the other thing too, is that superhero movies do attract kids. They attract adults because we love them, but they also attract kids. And if you don't think that you need to attract a younger audience, that you are just fooling yourself. You look at some of the people that are out there today who have found entirely new, I don't want to call them new, second wins of their career because of younger audience. Look at Betty White. Not that she's in the MCU, but she should be. But look at Betty White. She was on Golden Girls, and she had her career long before that. And then she went on Golden Girls and found a whole new audience. I didn't know who Betty White was. I saw her on Golden. She was hilarious. And then in the recent years, she's found a whole new audience again because she's been out there putting in that work and doing funny stuff that appeals to a younger audience. I think some of these people are just, I don't even know why. I can't even call them bitter, because they're not like the people that I'm thinking of are not like people who aren't working. They're out there. They're working actors. They're doing stuff. They're in movies. They're on TV programs. They're working. I just don't understand why they have so much animosity towards these superhero movies, because they're good movies.
I think some of it goes to various different roots. Some of them are old school, and like you said, Larry, they consider comics kiddish, but they don't understand that what Kevin Feige has done so eloquently, all the elements that you traditionally have in other movies, he's been able to blend them into a superhero genre, which has taken these movies beyond just the reach of comic book nerds and comic geeks across America. He's given them drama, like you said, Larry. He's given them it's somewhat of an aesthetic appeal. He's put good soundtracks on them. He's put these movies where they're family oriented at times. He's put good stories in these movies, and a lot of people just don't like it. And that's to their detriment, because I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, comics are not going to get smaller. They're only gonna get bigger because these stories have been around since the 30s. And now that someone has been able to put these on the big screen in a way that they cross genre for different groups of people, they're not going anywhere. You can be remaking some of these stories over and over again, and they're only going to get better. So I would say, my man, tell us why you really mad. Did you try to get on a date with Scarlett and she said no, and you don't like some of the men she's been with? Did you try to holler at Kevin Feige and he said no, we're going in a different direction with Blade, and now you're really mad? There were some people in our comments saying this is going to be the end of his career. It's not going to be the end of his career. A seasoned actor like him, you can at least get a job in Tyler Perry Studios or some other studio if nothing else works. So it's not the end of his career. But in terms of,
I don't even know why he would think he would be a part of the new Blade.
Well,
I mean,
because a lot of people from the old Blade wanted in on this. Like you've heard them talk about Wesley wanting to be in, and there's still rumors he might be the new Whistler. The old guy that played with, he should be.
But his character, but Blade never died. Deacon Frost got taken out.
Well, you can reanimate the story and put him in, but Kevin Feige don't do that. That's not what Kevin Feige does. Kevin Feige don't do that. He don't do that. And at the end of the day, you could have, if he wanted to be in the movie, you could have had him in there doing something else. You know, he didn't have to be Deacon Frost. He could have been some subordinate in the movie. He could have been anything else in the movie, but he's not. And I mean, hey, entitled to his opinion, but you're also going to be entitled to the criticism you're going to get because your opinion sounds very, very haterous. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it sounds really petty. It just sounds like it really does. It sounds like a lot of pettiness going on. Like to try and say that he's to the point that he's embarrassed for her. Mm-hmm. I thought to myself, really? That's where you're going to go with this? Is you're embarrassed for? I mean, there's like, I haven't seen the movie yet, but I've watched some of the reviews from some of the fine reviewers out there, like, you know, like Brandon Keith Avery from over there at Just My Opinions. And
be sure to subscribe. Be sure to subscribe to both of those channels. Brothers. Yep. You know, I've seen some of those reviews. I've seen the trailers. It doesn't look like there's anything in this movie to be embarrassed about. Like, no. I don't know if it's going to be the best movie. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's going to be hilarious and funny, or if it's going to be just super action packed, or if it's just going to be good drama. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. But from everything that I've seen, it doesn't look like there's anything to be embarrassed about. No. And ladies and gentlemen, me and my wife are going to see it Friday. We're going to try to have the review up Friday before we go live as well. So
you're going to go to the theater?
Yeah, we're going to the theater with the mask on. Y'all go ahead and go attack my man's Twitter. Tell him he can suck it. And has he even seen the movie yet? I don't know. Probably has. I don't
all
know.
He's probably seen is the trailer. And I think he sounds bitter. That's my opinion. Because he was in a dark. He was in that Marvel movie, even though who you said didn't direct it, but they basically set off the whole super movies with Marvel. So I think he's kind of bitter because he's not part of this.
Yeah, well, in the event,
a kind of UFC movie too. I saw that,
and he did good in this. He's a fine actor. But I mean, but to me, this sounds like it has deeper roots than just hating on the movie and Scarlett and Kevin Feige.
Definitely.
See, here's the thing. To me, it sounds like, and maybe he just doesn't have, maybe he's just one of those people who just doesn't like superhero movies. But it seems to me like if you want to be a part of the MCU, if you look at him like that, he's older, he's starting to show gray, he has a beard. You could, if I just saw him like that, I would never associate him with Deacon Frost. So he could have very easily have gone into the MCU and played an older sort of like some sort of older character, some older elder god or something, somebody else.
He could have been the new Old Man Logan if they decide to put Old Man Logan in this timeline jumping that they're doing. He could have done that.
I mean, the dude has the physical physique for it.
He's kind of short too.
Yeah, he would have fit it perfect. He has
the physique for it. He's a little bit older. I mean, he could have done it. I mean, there's no need to poo-poo superhero joints or this movie because I don't know why. I mean, there's just no need for it. I don't even understand why do it. I mean, really, to be honest with you, I'm thinking to myself, I mean, I know you're in Hollywood. Sometimes your ego gets beyond you, but I'm thinking to myself, there's no reason to poo-poo anybody in Hollywood unless they're doing something that's, offensive, and then you might have to speak out. But, like somebody should have spoke up and said something about Ralph Fiennes before he decided to play Michael Jackson. But, unless someone's doing something offensive, let people do their thing. Who cares if they make I mean, let's be real. I'm sure if we go back to IMDb and look at Steven Dorff's, his filmography, I'm pretty sure there's a couple of serious stinkers in there that he's embarrassed of. And that's going to happen, I think, with anybody who does a creative project. Some of your stuff is going to fall flat, and you're going to be like, oh, that wasn't a good idea, Well,
I can tell you right now, these comments probably wasn't the best idea, but we'll see where it goes. It goes. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go from a man hating to a woman who's made a damn career hating on people. And I am talking about Wendy Williams. If you're finding us for the first time, please subscribe, comment below, share our videos, turn on the bell. Everybody on this panel has a channel. Links is in description. Tabitha Brown, who some of us just got introduced to in the Shy. This is a picture of Tabitha. And wait till I show y'all a picture of Tabitha before she went natural. Anyway, Wendy Williams went on her show to call out Tabitha Brown for something she's doing that is something that a union does together. Let y'all take a listen to the clip. And after Wendy is done running her fat lip, you're going to hear Tabitha Brown's response to what Wendy had to say. Here we go. And oh, by the way, this is my defuck of the week. So let me give y'all the intro.
Hey, little girl, you're so cute. Is your mommy home?
Bitch, I am my own mommy, the fuck? Bitch, you just heard me, the fuck you got going on? With your ugly ass milk trying to poison me and shit. I don't know where the fuck you got that milk from. Definitely ain't I no fucking cow.
Yeah. Wendy Williams, you made my defuck of the week. Here we go.
There's this woman, her name is Tabitha Brown. Oh, you know her? Clap if you know her. Okay, good. I don't know her. Well, she's an influencer, and she's saying that she's retiring her husband. He's been a police officer for 15 years, and he wants to live out his dreams. Take a look.
I have said to him, babe, it's time. It's time. It's time for him to dream again. It's time for him to think like a child and think, ooh, when I grow up, what do I want to be? And it's something else. It's time for a new journey, a new chance at life, right? And God has blessed us. He has blessed me that I can retire my husband.
Nope. I was married to one of those. I make the money and so on and so forth. Go live your dreams, buy a business, stay with me, but go. You see how that turned out. I predict that this marriage is going to be on real rocky ground in a moment.
Pain this woman must be in. Wendy, the pain you must be in to feel this way, and I'm so sorry. But listen, let me tell you this. 23 years I've been with my husband. Yes. Broke for a very long time together. Struggled for a very long time together. Succeeded for the last couple of years together, right? My husband took a job in agreement with me. He took a job 15 years ago to help support my dream. And I know you may not know what that looks like in a genuine place, right? But this was an agreement that my husband and I had. And I told him 15 years ago, oh, babe, in 5 years, I'll be able to take you out of there so then you can pursue one of your dreams that you love. Right now, I was his dog in the fight, okay? And he believed in me. And we did it together for the last 15 years. I did every year with him at LAPD, and he did every year with me with rejection and no's in this entertainment industry, right? However, God has blessed me. He has allowed me to manifest. I've been praying this for a very long time, and it has now come to pass. That is the power of God. It's also the power of allowing God to be first in your marriage. Okay? And that is how it remains successful. We keep him first. He is first in our marriage. Not
y'all forgive. I'm laughing at the clap back. Literally, how do you come back from that? So, ladies and gentlemen, let me break this down for you. How the hell does it look that Wendy Williams failed marriage? Her persona and Tabitha's persona are polar opposites, first of all. So when you speak about somebody else, you probably need to know who they are. Wendy admits in that video she didn't know her. You know, she admitted that. Wendy's whole persona was hip hop, gossip, foolery, clubbing, and all that. Yeah. And it don't take a rocket science to say when you in that kind of lifestyle, your marriage is going to be under straits. And if you ain't tight as a unit, it's probably going to fail. On the other hand, Tabitha's persona is faith, God, union, my husband. If I'm betting on these two marriages, which one is going to last, it's definitely Tabitha's. Secondly, Wendy. When she put you in your place, she done it in such a regal manner. All you should be able to sit back and do is like, honey, damn you right. Because I can't say nothing. And secondly, and more importantly, me and Larry are married to women who are in those type of positions. And we've been married for over decades with these type of women. And exactly what Tabitha said is probably what Larry went through. It's damn sure is what we went through in my household, ebbs and flows. And we talk about things as a unit and we make decisions as a unit. And why the hell would she want to keep putting her husband out there on them streets when an occupational hazard of his job on a day-to-day basis is death? Having said that, Larry, you get the floor first on this one.
Yeah, this is one of those things where it's just pure haterism. And because of her, and because of Wendy Williams, you know, her negative experience, everything that she hears about something like this is going to be peppered with her own personal experience. And
Larry, let me say this, Larry. Look at Wendy. Just look at her. Is she not the epitome of what we deem is issues in our damn society? First of all, it looked like she went to the same plastic surgeon that did the whole Jackson family. Then you're doing gossip. Then you up here building a career on fame and fortune. And those are the things that we talk about. We don't understand how people is getting all this fame and fortune for not really being talented in anything but spilling the tea. My bad, Larry. I just had to throw that in there.
No, I think it's relevant, and part of it is that, well, here's the thing. Let me just say this. I think that she feels a certain way because she's had all kinds of issues with her relationships, but she's not taking into consideration the other parts of any relationship, which are the two people in there. For her, she was a junkie for a long time. Mm-hmm. She had all kinds of substance abuse issues, and anybody who has lived with an addict, you know, I mean, I had a stepfather years ago who was an alcoholic. Anybody who's lived with an addict knows that person is not someone that you can deal with on a regular. There's just, you can't deal with an addict. Eventually they're either going to get clean or they're going to get gone. Either you're going to leave them or they're going to leave them. That's because you can't deal with that type of craziness on a regular basis. It's not good for your health. Their craziness is not good for their own health. And so I think what happened is when she's saying, oh, well, I've dealt with this before. I've had a guy out there that when I made the money and then I told him to go do whatever you want to do, start a business, do this and that. She's probably not taking into consideration he was also sick of your shit because you're a junkie, you know? And on top of that, like you said, Lamont, she talks crap about people for a living. She does gossip for a living. That type of stuff, when you are constantly having to dig up dirt on other people, talk crap about other people, that stuff takes a toll on you. It wears on your heart and on your soul. And if you don't have some way to cleanse yourself, it just eats at you and it starts to eat at everybody around you. And I think that's part of the problem with her and her job. It just eats at her. She probably doesn't want to have to do that for a living. but she feels like that's where her place is, and it's eating at her. And here's the thing, and this is what bothers me when she says this, because, and I'm glad that Tabitha is out there saying this, because there are a lot of black women out there in this world, and I'm sure there's white women out there too, but I'm talking about as my black women, because those are the women that I'm thinking of, and the way it is right now, there's a lot of black women out there who think, oh, I should have a dude that does everything, and I shouldn't need to do anything, and he should be able to support everything, and this should be, we're married, and it should be all about me. I'm the bride, I'm the wife. It should be all about me, and they're not going into marriage with a realistic sense of how human beings are together, and so what you often see in other types of relationships is both black and white, is you will see people say, okay, I'm going to make a sacrifice for you in your career. And then once you get established, then I'm going to go do the thing that I wanted to do to begin with. And so that's what it sounded like she wanted to do. She wanted to act. They couldn't afford to have both of them struggling. So he went and took a job with the LAPD so they can afford to, I imagine, to keep her, not working a regular full-time job that would prevent her from doing auditions and doing her YouTube channel and all the other stuff that she was doing. And so he supported her through those years. And if you listen, they said that she was supposed to be doing this for 5 years, that they were supposed to make it she was going to make it within 5 years and then allow him to leave the LAPD. It took 15. It took 3 times as long. And this brother didn't say, nah, that's okay, we're good. You know what? I gave you the 5 years. You didn't make it. Go get a regular job. I'm leaving the department. I'm going to go do something safer, like teach or work in whatever. I'm going to go start a little business somewhere, someplace where I may not get my head shot off every day, But he didn't do that. He stayed there for 15 years so she can keep pursuing her thing. And now that she's made it, she's saying, I'm retiring my husband. There's nothing wrong with that. How many times have you heard women say, yeah, I went to work so that my husband can go to law school or medical school, and now that he's a doctor or a lawyer, I quit my job and I do charity work, or I start a macrame business and sell stuff on Etsy or whatever. I don't know. I mean, people support their spouses all the time. When I moved out here, I moved to the East Coast. I'm from California. I love California. I don't want to live in DC. I came out here. My wife was supposed to I came out here for my wife. She was only supposed to be here for 3 years. We were only supposed to be here for 3 years. We've been here for going on 17 now. That's what happens. You support your wife. She took a job at one department with one agency with the federal government. She got a better job with a different agency. And so we're still here. That is called being married. That is called making sacrifices for the one you love. And some people don't get that. And that's often why people who don't get it have failed marriages. If you talk to someone who has a successful marriage, it's often because they made those sacrifices, and they find ways to deal with those sacrifices and continue to make them. And people who don't end up with failed marriages.
Yeah. Moochie, I'm coming to you, and I'll just say this. Like Larry said, marriages in particular, but any relationship, honestly, it's a give and take. Sometimes someone's got to sacrifice and the other person doesn't, and then it vice versa is back to you. And having said that, this is your girl when she first came out, and she's a vegan. That's something that was popular on her YouTube. She did cooking, vegan cooking, and everything on her YouTube channel, they was kind of faith-based. And that's why I said I just love what she said. And I'm not even one who's really into the Bible and God and all that. But the way she handled that business, ladies and gentlemen, that could be a dissertation in how you take down somebody in a professional manner with a smile on your face. I give it to you, Moochie. What do you think about it?
Okay, I'm a New Yorker, so I know Wendy from her radio days.
Okay.
And just like Whitney Houston had to get in her behind and say, watch what the F you say when she was talking about her. They had, like, if you go back and listen to her interview, she's going back. It seemed like she's trying to go back to that person. But to me, she's bitter. This is the other bitter person I see. And I feel like you shouldn't throw rocks when your house is made of glass.
Mm.
And you're not the one to speak about it because, for one, her husband wasn't the working square. Her husband was a thug that hung out in the clubs and all of that other stuff. So I'm giving you the real deal. You want the real deal? I'm giving you the real deal.
Hold on, Moochie. Larry, Moochie is just reiterating what I said. The relationships were polar opposite of each other. And if you had to bet on both relationships when they first started, which one would last, which one wasn't, Moochie, keep on going with what you're saying.
She already knew him. I don't know I think he was a party promoter or something. But at first, when she first got with him, he was her muscle. So he's a thug to me. He wasn't the working guy like that. And if my husband, which my ex-husband, he was a police officer. If I was still married or whatever the case may be, I wouldn't want him to do no job like that, risking his life every day. If I made it, I'll be like, come on, we're gonna get out. What's the business you said you wanted to do? All right, this is what we doing now. This is what you could put 100% of your time into, because I got all of these gigs and I'm getting it right now. I can handle everything. You go do you right now.
Mm-hmm.
With her, I feel like I got a lot to say about this because I've been watching her for the past couple of mornings and I've been seeing certain things. Mm-hmm. And I feel like something's gonna go left with her soon anyway, because she's hanging out with Ray J.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
You know who was hanging out with Ray J? You know who was hanging out with Ray J before they passed away, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Who?
I mentioned her already, Whitney.
Oh, okay, that's right.
She was hanging out with him. That was the last person she was with when she passed away, and
Ray
her family.
I don't want to put that on Ray J because Whitney Houston had a bad
I'm not saying it's him, but I'm not saying it's him, but the streets is talking already. The streets is talking. The streets, the blogs, everybody's talking. She looking crazy right now.
Well,
she's looking crazy right now. She's looking bitter. She's angry, and I guess she's angry about what happened where they showing the baby all over the blogs. The love child.
Baby.
What baby?
The baby that Kevin, her husband, had.
Oh.
See, I really don't do the gossip thing, but if you're gonna open that subject, I'll go there.
Oh, well, I mean,
like I said, people shouldn't throw rocks when their house is made of glass. She got a whole bunch of cracks in her window now from that comment, and I love her response. What's her name?
Tabitha Brown.
Tabitha, I loved her response because you know why? She killed her with kindness. She killed her with kindness, and that's sometimes you got to do it like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, here's the thing. It wasn't like her delivery was kind, but the word she used was cold-blooded. The delivery was very kind.
The delivery was kind, and she didn't say nothing like how Erica Mena got at her. Erica Mena was threatening to beat her ass.
Oh, Kato.
So she got at her. She said something crazy about her a couple of weeks ago.
Who,
so
Wendy?
She's just like I said, she's got order for a whole lot of stuff. Where I'm looking at her like, wow, you really gonna do that right now?
Well, here's part of the problem I think with a show like what Wendy Williams has and what she does is that back in the 90s or the early 2000s, I think a show like hers worked well because you can sit up there, you can talk all the crap you want, and then it sort of ended there. Like you would have like the gossip magazines like The Inquirer and People and some of the other small rags that you would find in the grocery store and as you were checking out. But that was kind of it. Now, when you talk crap about someone with all the social media stuff, with Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and and everything else, it just goes around the world in 30 seconds. And it hits the people that are affected by it. Because like before, Wendy Williams could have talked crap about some actor or celebrity, and they would have just laughed and said, okay, whatever, and just went about their day. Now, they're getting their phones blowing up 500 times a day with people hit. Did you hear what so-and-so said? Did you see this? Some people are forwarding them stuff. that stuff gets to people after a while because they get bombarded with it so much. And so you have someone like Erica Mena who's already, if she's anything like her persona on Love and Hip Hop, she's already pretty much a loose cannon. You know, you talk about someone who's a loose cannon, you're likely to get your mouth busted open the next time they run into you in the club or someplace.
And that's who was running her interference, Kelvin. He was running her interference when she was going off at the radio station, and they be at Hot 97 waiting for her. Am I lying? I'm not. I know I'm not lying. There's people in New York that know the fact from Wendy back in the day. That's why Puffy ran her out of New York. She getting to the point now where I feel like she was real out of line for the country. You can't talk about people's marriage and your stuff is messed up. Your stuff is raggedy. Because you didn't have a perfect marriage. Your husband had a side piece for over 10 years. He had a side piece and bought a house with your money. So you shouldn't even have said anything. Even if your people brought this story to you, you should have said, we're not touching that right now. I don't care how juicy it was.
See, here's the thing. It's like, it's when you hear that stuff, you feel bad, like that's messed up, it shouldn't happen. But we don't know you never really know what's happening in other people's marriages. And you still cannot put aside the fact that Wendy Williams for a long time was a junkie. And junkies do stuff to you inside of those relationships. If you've ever dealt with a junkie, they say things and they do things that for them, they can put aside after they get sober and say, oh, well, that wasn't really me. I was high. I was drunk. They weren't sober. And they can put that aside and and say, this isn't really me. I'm the real me now that I'm clean. But as a person who had to experience that, you remember, you're like, nah, that was you, motherfucker. I was right there. You could say that wasn't you, but you did that shit to me. And you don't always want to put that aside because you're like, nah, that happened. You can just try and say it wasn't me, but that happened. And so I think oftentimes people want to just say, oh, well, I was wronged by this guy who did all this stuff. Well, we don't know what happened. You might have been an asshole to him every day. He might have had a side piece because you were basically tormenting him every day. I'm not really saying that's an excuse, but some people don't have the same ethics and morality that other people do. And so for them to get a side piece may be a reasonable option to leaving their marriage.
You heard the term a drunk person speak a sober mind?
Yeah.
That's all her. Now the question is she getting high now? I'll leave it at that.
Ladies and gentlemen, comment below if you enjoyed my The Fuck of the Week, and we will give you the outro because this Wendy Williams has won the very first The Fuck of the Week.
Hi, little girl. You're so cute. Is your mommy home?
Bitch, I am my own mommy, the fuck? Bitch, you just heard me, the fuck you got going on? Your ugly ass milk trying to poison me and shit. I don't know where the fuck you got that milk from. Definitely ain't I no fucking cow.
It came from Wendy's mouth. How about that? So, ladies and gentlemen, that ain't the only crazy bit of story we've got. We got another crazy story for you. This one involves, as Shepard Smith would say, a hot blonde who was a correctional officer. She decided she wants to make out with the prisoners, and not only make out, she wanted to be an exhibitionist and make out in front of 11 people. And I should have made her the fuck of the week, but I couldn't. As if nothing was going to happen. Take a look at this story, and then we'll break it down. Mooch, you'll be on deck.
Female prison officer who had sex with prisoner in front of 11 inmates is jailed. Tina Gonzalez, 26, has worked as a Fresno County Corrections officer since 2016. She was arrested in May 2020 following an investigation into her conduct. The sheriff's office was given a tip-off that an inmate had been having sex with a correctional officer and that she had smuggled in a phone. Alongside the phone, Gonzalez had also smuggled in razors which could have been used as weapons. The Fresno County Sheriff's Office has fired former employee and former boss of 26-year-old Assistant Sheriff Susan Gonzalez. Gonzalez is alleged to have cut a hole in her uniform to make it easier to have sex with an inmate. She was also accused of having sex in full view in front of 11 other inmates. Assistant Sheriff Steve McComas said, "That is something only a depraved mind can come up with. Gonzalez pleaded no contest to one count of sexual activity by a detention facility employee with a confined adult. She was given 2 years probation and 7 months in the county jail. Judge, I think what you did was terrible, stupid, and you have ruined your career. But I also believe that people can redeem themselves.
What? They can? Oh boy, Lord have mercy. Muchella, you get first dibs on little Miss Lily White, cutting holes in her pants, smuggling razors. But
she was smuggling razors, probably bringing steaks for them dudes and everything.
I mean, Lord, Moochie, did she think this was a cornhole event where I'm just gonna beat a cornhole and you just shove it on in there? You get first dibs, Moochie.
Somebody said she was actually doing porn skits.
In the jail? In the jail?
In the comments. Evidently, if 11 people watching, somebody got a phone in there.
Well,
if they got raises in there, somebody had to have a phone.
I hope she's getting paid, because that sounds like a little jailhouse rock, in my opinion, that she ain't getting paid for.
Well, I guess she could kiss her pension goodbye if they have pensions.
Yeah, she can kiss all that goodbye, but I'm just shocked that the judge, he said all that only to say he believes in redemption. And y'all know my issue with the criminal justice system. They want to give everybody but the black man redemption, huh? I still have an issue that 70% of incarcerated individuals in the American criminal system is African American men. Second chances, Larry, I give the floor to you. Why are they really giving little Miss Blondie Batootie cornhole another chance?
I'd imagine probably because she is a woman and she is one of them. I mean, not one of them and being white, because she's not. I think she actually is Hispanic. But
did the judge get some of them draws too?
Yeah, that's what somebody said in the comments.
I hope not, but
I like it.
But I mean one of them. I mean as a law enforcement officer, whether it be correctional or on the street, or whatever. But I think that when I first saw this, my first thought is maybe she already knew the dude, like maybe she met him in jail and just started getting it in with him. But she started in 2016, so she wasn't there for a long time. I was thinking maybe her dude got locked up and she went and got a job there so she can keep being with him. That was my first thought. I was like, I don't know who she was with. They didn't say. She looked like she was Hispanic, and I know in California the Mexican mafia is no joke. Those dudes and those Mexican gangs are no joke. They run the prisons out there.
Yeah.
And they have all kinds of people working for them. And my first thought was maybe her man got locked up, and they were like,
she was part of them.
Maybe she was like, let me just go get a job there so I can run him stuff in and out. I can still be with him. I don't know if any of that's true. That was just my thought. It sounds to me like it would make a much more interesting movie if they did it. But with that said, if
you mean to wait a minute, Larry, you mean to tell me the fact that you smuggling razors in, the fact that you cutting out squares in your panty drawers for easy access, that don't make a good enough movie? I mean,
no, that makes an okay movie. But this idea of this passionate love that you have that you won't let go of, even when your man goes to jail, you decide to go to jail with him. But because you're a woman, you can't be in the same jail. So the only way you can get there is to get a job at the jail so you can keep being with your man. That to me sounds like a much more interesting movie.
But they investigate you like that before you get those kind of jobs.
Yeah, but that's only if they know you're with that person. If they don't know you're with that person, if you're not married to them, they're not gonna know. If you have a boyfriend, if you simply tell the people that you're putting on your list as your references, if you tell them don't mention anything that I know about so and so, I don't know. They do investigate, but I have no idea what they do. But I will say that the thing that gets me, I think that is, if this were if this were a man working in a women's prison and he had done this, the penalties would have been much more severe. And I know this because, and I shouldn't say it's that exactly. It's apples to apples, because obviously this has happened in different jurisdictions. But we have seen when male prison guards have had relations with female prison guard or female prisoners, and the men have gotten locked up for years.
Do you remember? Do you all remember that lady that drowned her 2 babies and then blamed it on the black guy?
Yeah.
It happened in the 90s.
Yeah.
She was having sex with the prison guard, and he's on one of these Lifetime channels telling his story.
Oh, see,
it's supposed to come on this week.
See, that's
I'll give you another one.
That's what Larry talking about right there.
I'll give you another one.
Who's that?
It was a black guy. He was in jail, and he got 2 prison guards, female guards, pregnant at the same time.
I kind of remember that too.
Yeah. So you know it happens. People get caught up.
I mean, just because you go to jail don't mean that desire and those urges go away.
I mean, here's the thing too. If you are I'm not trying to say anything bad about people who are prison guards. I'm not trying to say, but here's the thing. Most of the time, the type of women that are going to go work as a prison guard are not the type of chicks that you generally think of as your sort of girly girl, she type chicks.
I beg to differ. I worked out with chicks when that are guards at Rikers, and they took well put together when they on their own.
Okay, so, I guess that's just from my experience. I haven't seen them like that. I haven't seen them like that.
I've seen them
institutionalized though.
I've seen them too, Larry. I've seen like a few of them are like fine, like bruh, like I ain't locked up. That's what I was thinking back in my day. Like you can use your handcuffs with me if you want to.
Well, then maybe I'm wrong. So I don't know. I mean, whatever the case is, there's some reason why they're up there. I mean, I know some of these dudes have the gift of gab, and they think they do, and that's why they've done some of the crimes they've done in their life, because they've been able to get away with stuff. And that gift of gab, I guess, is coming handy when they talk to these guards and get them wrapped up and stuff. I mean, the guards are humans, you know. If you have these dudes that are up there that basically have nothing to do but sit in there and work out all day, I mean, I'm sure a lot of them are physically looking nice, and these young women are probably in there and get caught up. And so, I mean, I just think that I think the judge probably went too soft on her. And the reason why I say that is that if you are in jail, according to the law, you cannot have consensual sex with a guard. There is no such thing as consensual sex between an inmate and a guard because of the power dynamic. And so it should be considered rape. Just like if you're a male and you have sex with a female inmate, even if it's so-called consensual where she's the one initiating, according to the law, it's not consensual because there's a power dynamic and she cannot give consent. And so technically it's rape. And they should be prosecuted accordingly. And we see this all too often when there's that power dynamic where the female is in power and the male isn't. They treat that very, very differently. We see it what happens with teachers and we see it happens in churches and all kinds of stuff where the woman takes advantage of a man or a boy, and they're treated with way more leniency than if it was in the reverse.
Right. Me Too movement. You're fighting for equality. Fight for that too. Make it fair. Make it right. Make it right. Make it right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got almost 100 in the building. Be sure to give me a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe. Turn on notifications. Everybody here has a YouTube channel. Links is in the description. Check us out, man. We're a dynamic channel. We bring you guys lots of heavy content. Next story goes to Moochella, who likes to hang with the fellas, keeping her ears to the street to let y'all know what to watch on TV. She found something called Fear the Streets on Netflix, and they dropping in 3 different days, different episodes. Let's take a look at the trailer and let Moochie tell us why we should be watching Fear the Streets.
I'll be right back.
Oh, Lord. July the 2nd, 9th, and 16th. Moochie, I got to give it to you. I got to give it to you. You be picking out some bangers. That has a feel of American Horror Story, sprinkling in a little bit of those kids I love to watch on Netflix with some Jason slashing going on. Moochie, tell me all about it.
Okay, so you're saying it's a combination between, I say, Scream, American Horror, and Stranger Things.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking. That's what I'm talking about.
It's a trilogy that's in 3 parts. The first one is 1994. The second one that dropped on July 9th is 1978. And the third one is 1666. And it's a 3-part horror, and it involves it's like a slasher with witchcraft and possession.
I caught that. I saw had a little picture of the witches dressed up in Ku Klux Klan gear. I mean, damn, you could have made the outfits a little better than that.
And you know whose daughter is in here?
Who's that?
Uma Thurman and Ethan Hawke's daughter.
Oh.
She has a small part in it. Which once I seen her, and I know we was talking about this on Just My Opinions channel about her being in the next Kill Bill. Like it's a possibility she'll be in there with Uma Thurman. I think she could do it. It had Benjamin Flores as Josh, Karina Madeira, Dina Johnson, Olivia Welch as Sam, and guess who was from Power that was in it?
Who's that?
Rolo.
Oh,
remember when God
I saw him.
Him?
Yeah.
So,
I saw him. He had on the bandana in this trailer.
Right.
Yeah,
I thought it was a good start. It had me interested. It kept my interest through the whole thing, and I liked it.
So you watched the first one.
It comes from a book series also.
Yeah, R.L. Stein. I saw that. Yeah.
Right. So I think it's really, I liked it.
So you watched the first part already, correct?
Right. I watched the first one the day that it came out, and then it's just like a good. It's like I said, it's a slasher movie with a witchcraft element to it.
How long did the first one last?
Like an hour and a half.
Okay. Look, ladies and gentlemen, she ain't got to say no more. I'm definitely down for this. The question is, can we get old scary cat Larry? You going to watch any of this?
I did want to say that later on this month that the Jungle Cruise movie comes out. You know, the new Disney Jungle Cruise movie. And Baby Boss just came out. So there's some friendlier options out there for people who want to...
Yes, no, ma'am. It did capture the spirit of 1994.
Okay. Well, that's what we need,
it
man.
It did with the music, the technology, and everything.
So that's what makes Stranger Things so good. Actually, that's one of the things, the key elements that makes American Horror Story so good. When they do those period pieces, they capture the elements of that period. The last one they did was like 1980, and they had the people up there wearing their Richard Simmons workout gear, and they had the type of log cabin,
big hair and everything.
Yeah,
they had the polos with the collars popped.
Yeah, they had all that going on. So if Moochie is saying this captures all those elements, well, you know what? I'm there. I might even have to catch the last one and try to review it because I'm trying to step my game up a little more with these reviews and news and everything else we do on this channel. Be sure to like us, subscribe.
Keep in mind, it's a trilogy. I don't know if I like to see if I could solve stuff, if I could figure stuff out while it's happening. And it's a trilogy where everything's connected. So this basically, they told the story backwards.
Right.
So
okay.
You're getting the story backwards, and you're gonna be able to piece everything together once you get to that last story.
And see, I love stories like that. I love these things with connected continuity over a period of time, it just keeps you guessing. It just keeps you guessing. I'm gonna have to get on this, even though Larry ain't gonna do it. I'm gonna have to do it, and me and Moochie might have to come up here and do a review and talk a lot of smack. That's what we're gonna have to do. But moving right along, Moochie, you did an excellent job with that. We appreciate you. So the next trailer we got is something that I know Larry wants to watch. I think Moochie wants to watch it too.
I'm down with Harlem Cat in the comments section. Harlem Cat said, I'll be watching Disney with Larry. I don't have time for the scary shit. I feel you, Harlem Cat. Cat Harlem, excuse me. Cat Harlem.
Well, Cat Harlem, you're gonna have time for this. This is Kevin Smith and his new He-Man that comes out this month on Netflix. It looks good. It's even got Lena Headey playing the sorceress. Lena Headey was Cersei in Game of Thrones. So you got me sold with that. And when Kevin Smith attached his name, I was sold. Here's the first full trailer for Netflix's and Kevin Smith's He-Man, the animated series.
So he's like behind all of this?
Yeah, man. That's what I've been telling y'all.
Who's doing the He-Man voice?
He said it. I don't know that guy per se, but it sounds good to me. The Skeletor looks good. Sorceress sounds great with Lena Headey. Man, look. Y'all know when there's really super nerdy stuff, my penis get hard. I got hard on. This table fell over, y'all, because I can't wait. As a matter of fact, let me pull out. I've been waiting to pull this out. Oh, my Lord. And ladies and gentlemen, I still have my original He-Man glass from when I was a 5-year-old kid sitting right here. And y'all might as well see that too. Unfortunately, my mama broke the Skeletor that come with it. But I've had this since I was 5 years old. Look at that.
Wow.
Are those the ones that came with in the jelly?
No. This was a set. This is a glass set. And I've had it since I was 5. This is one of the only things I've still got since I was a child.
If you ain't break that glass, you was a good kid.
My mama broke the Skeletor that matched this. I'm still mad with her for that to this day. I ain't got over that just yet. But ladies and gentlemen,
don't forget to go get your mouse ears from behind there.
Yeah, from behind there.
And Ella will find that. I mean, she always finds stuff in here and does. She'll find that. But look, man, I'm geek. I'm gonna review the hell out of it. I don't give a damn if 2 people watch it. I'm doing this for me.
When does it come
on? July the 17th.
Now I have to admit, right? The trailer was cool.
Oh, Lord.
But it was Kevin Smith's. It was all of his hyped up energy that really got me, because this dude was so like you just don't often see showrunners and people that excited for one of their projects. This dude was so hyped up for that thing, man. I was like, they could have not even have shown the project and just showed him talking about it and how hyped he was, and I'd have been like, oh, this has to be good.
But what makes it even better, he's telling you there's going to be killing in it. Back when we was kids, we never got a chance to see knives going through people's bodies and stuff like that. He's telling you.
Just saw the splashes and stuff when he was using that knife.
And did y'all also see that we have the undead? Did y'all catch that in the trailer? They never had the undead in the old He-Man coming up out the ground, but it makes you wonder. He's saying that in the very beginning, you're going to have the heroes and the villains teaming up. Who are they fighting?
The dead?
It could be the dead, but could they also put Hordak in this thing, or could they put the Snake Men in it? And I doubt that they would do either one of them, because we've already kind of seen those stories. But I want to know, what is it that they are fighting that's bringing them together? I can't wait. Man, I can't wait. I cannot wait. I will definitely be reviewing this. I might get Larry up here with me. I might be so geeked up, I might have to do it by myself. I might have to put a mask over my body, because I don't want y'all to see white particles flying all up through the review and stuff like that. I can't wait.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
I can't wait. And
I did want to tell everybody, I think I did a video on it a while ago, but I did want to mention it because I did some of these videos about like the best channels on YouTube. And there is a He-Man Masters of the Universe channel that shows full episodes of the old school cartoon, and they have some of them that have like these long videos that are like 3-4 hours long that will show like an entire season. So if you want to catch up, or if you've never watched He-Man in the past, you want to get an idea of who he is, what he is, about He-Man and She-Ra, Skeletor, the whole crew, you can go check them out for free on YouTube at the Masters of the Universe He-Man and She-Ra channel.
And one more thing about Kevin Smith. There is an event that they have usually every year called PowerCon. That's strictly about the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, comics, lore, and all that. So you'll see She-Ra, you'll see the Snake Men, you'll see all of them there. They even have sometimes Superman and Batman and the Justice League there, because I keep telling y'all in the comics they did a crossover when He-Man beat the shit out of Superman. Do you hear me? I've only seen one other time something was driven into Superman besides something with kryptonite. That power sword was so strong, it went through Superman, pushed by He-Man, and I don't want to give no more because I'm hoping they're going to bring that to life one day. But anyway, Kevin Smith goes to every one of these power cons. He's the biggest geek that shows up, and so I just pretty much know this is going to be good. But damn, can we get him on the live action movie too? Please?
That would be dope.
Please, Kevin.
Who's gonna play him?
Okay. Spike Lee said Chris Wood is He-Man.
Okay. I appreciate that, Swipe. I appreciate that, Swipe. Look, fine.
I don't know who that is.
I don't either. That's why I said fine. But I believe it's going to be good. And the only other thing they didn't show me that I wanted to see, y'all know I want to see Cringer turn into Battle Cat. The only reason I like cats to this day is because of Battle Cat. He's the only reason. So I needed to see that, but it's all good. I can't wait. I'm here for it. And y'all will see some reviews of that mess. It's coming. All right. I got one more story for the people. And this is for all my folks out there making them life gains in the money. We've got 7, well, really 8, but 7 stocks I want to show you guys after I show you what happened with Tesla, because Tesla's definitely one of my 8 stocks I want you guys to keep an eye on second half of the year. Let's take a look at why you should be watching them to see what's going on with them.
Tesla just coming out with second quarter delivery numbers. I want to get straight over to Phil LeBeau, who's got those numbers. Phil?
Andrew, Tesla delivered 201,250 vehicles in the second quarter. The overwhelming majority of those vehicles were the Models 3 and Models Y. Not surprising, given that Elon Musk talked about some of the part shortages, the chip impact, and raw material cost impact in the second quarter. The Model S and Model X combined, they only delivered a little under 2,000 of those vehicles. In terms of the little bit of pressure you're seeing on shares of Tesla, the estimate on the street, according to FactSet, had ticked up to 207,000. So this is just shy of that, but I'm not sure I would call this a miss. I think it's roughly in line with what expectations were. The estimates, by the way, were all over the place, from 195,000 up to 230,000. But again, Tesla delivering just over 200,000 vehicles in the second quarter.
Jared, let's talk about a little bit of corporate news that also hit the tape earlier this morning on a ticker that people are always watching on our website. That's Tesla, coming out with its second quarter delivery numbers, better than analysts expected, and Elon Musk tweeting to mark the occasion.
Yeah, exactly. Quarterly deliveries for the second quarter came in at 202,250, something in there. I might be off by 1,000, but that was a good number, good enough for a record number. There are a lot of concerns about slowing deliveries, particularly in China. Can the rest of the world kind of pick up the slack? I'm looking at a Tesla chart right here. It is bullishly constructive. On a short-term basis, we do have an uptrend here, confirmed by higher highs and higher lows. We've gotten above the 50-day moving average. And also this negative trend line right here, it just managed to break out of. So could find some momentum here to the upside when we get some more catalyst for it. We know we're going to be heading into earnings season, so I think we get their earnings in about a month or so. Don't quote me on that. But all in all, looking good, or looking better for Tesla.
With that momentum, ladies and gentlemen, the car theme seems to be where a lot of the professionals are saying money is going to be going when it comes to the stock market. So number one, on my list of 7. Of course, Tesla's up there, and you saw that they just showed you where the MACD and the RSI meet. That's what he meant when he said they cross. That's the section where the resistance has been met, and it's time to start watching the stock for an uptrend. But also on the list, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Ford. Ford was on my list to start the year. Me and Larry have been in and out of Ford, making money left and right. You see the consensus target price is going to go up 8%. Check them out. Next on my list, GM. I've talked about them, but I haven't been as bullish on GM, but I am now. They've got a markup side of 12%, so check them out. Now, this is Larry's wheelhouse. We've got a little bit of VMware. Upside potential, 9.7%. Give them a look. Then we've got a biopharmaceutical. They've got a 36% upside, and a lot of this is based on the issues we're dealing with that new variant being an issue worldwide. And they're also doing a lot of genetic testing, and one of their drugs has just passed the FDA. So a lot of people are putting money on them thinking it's going to get to that 116 price target before the end of the year. I'm going to buy a couple of shares and see if this really happens so I can come back and say to you guys it went down. Here's another good one, CVS. They're giving this one a 12% upside over the next 3 months. A lot of this has to do with the boom they've seen from people coming to get those vaccines. And in the fall, ladies and gentlemen, they're doing flu shots. Kids can go there and get some other things that they're going to be needing when the fall comes. Take a look at them. One of my favorite stocks, Coca-Cola. They're looking at them to have a 8% upside. And the duality you get with this stock is that it pays a great dividend. And I'm already in this one for 100 and some odd shares, and I'm not letting go. This is going to be a stock that gets passed down to my daughter because they pay such a nice dividend. Last but not least, this is something Larry mentioned a long time ago, and now they're saying you need to get it. Kellogg, ladies and gentlemen, they're saying has a pretty much about an 8% upside over the next 3 months. And ladies and gentlemen, that is my list of 8 stocks you should be considering buying a bunch of right now and just sitting on them waiting for the next 3 to 6 months as they're talking about high growth numbers. Put some money on them, see where they go. Larry, you get first crack at this. Which ones of those do you like?
That's really hard for me. Because a lot of those were, I like some of my more budget stocks, but I do like the Coca-Cola because I like the fact that it pays a nice dividend on top of the projected upside. But for me, I don't like those $100, $200, $600 stocks. It's putting too many eggs in one basket for me.
What?
I don't like them.
Oh,
I'm more along the lines of the $20 to $50 stocks.
So Larry likes to live the life of growth. Value. That's all he wants to do. He wants to live the life of value and see where it goes. Me, on the other hand, I like my eggs to be sure and ready, and I like to risk some of those little stocks that Larry's talking about. Muchella, anything on this list that you like?
I still have Ford.
Oh,
I'm gonna look into getting into Kellogg now that y'all said that, and I did hear Larry mentioned it. I think that's when you and him did the segment by yourselves.
Yep, Larry talked about Kellogg way back in the day. Now he don't even want none because the stock is $60. Larry, come on, man. Come on, man. Oh my!
I'm still kicking myself for not getting in the Levi back when they were like $10 or something.
Yeah, my man Bucky made a comment. He got mad at Elon because Elon poo-pooed Bitcoin, but you know what? He stood up Dogecoin, which I don't own Dogecoin. And Tesla still has holdings in Bitcoin. Now, they're not accepting it, but they still have a whole lot of Bitcoin. I think of everybody on the stock market, Tesla has the second amount of Bitcoin. The company that has more than them, MicroStrategy. And so, Bucky, my brother,
they just made a big Bitcoin purchase just recently.
Yeah, Bucky, my brother, hold on, Bitcoin to the moon. Crypto to the moon. I'm believing in it, brother. I done got me a coin, a full Bitcoin. I got it when it was down 32 stacks, and I'm waiting for that joint to go. By Christmas, I want to see 80 grand. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we got for you guys tonight. Be sure to come back and check us out tomorrow, where we will do Run the World, and we might have a surprise piece of content. But we're so ready for that show to be over with, so we can get our Tuesday nights back free and clear. We
could have done Run the World tonight since nothing else aired on Sunday. They shut everything else down for the holiday.
Yeah, we could have, but it's too late now. We'll do it tomorrow. Be sure to like our content. Go subscribe to everybody's channel. To that next Sex is Hell video, which will be tomorrow. We'll see.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.